Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Allison, thank you so much for being a part of the I Am the Comic Book project, which I'm very excited about. Here, it's fading, but you can see
Oh, I love it. Oh,
it
that's
turned out
cool.
really, really well. Um, and I love it. So my first question for you is, who are you and how do we know each other?
Well, I am an illustrator and cartoonist named Allison, and I live in Brooklyn. And we met at Ragdale, the Ragdale Artist Residency in I want to say Evanston, but it was Lake Forest, Illinois. I think
Yep.
Evanston's just on my brain. A bunch of movies are filmed in Evanston for some reason or based there. And it was really cool. We were together for like 3 weeks. Now I've
Yep.
forgotten everything. Yeah, it was awesome.
So many good late night conversations by the fire and with tea and in the kitchen.
So cozy because we were there in January, so it was very chilly. But I don't remember being cold. It was very warm space, even for such an old building. It
Yeah.
was really nice and cozy.
Yeah, very, very cozy. Okay, so my second question is, what did you think when I told you about the idea? I mean, I told you about it, and I originally was going to have it over here, and that's where Britland, you drew. What did you think about the idea of the I Am the Comic Book Project when we talked about it, when we first talked about it?
I thought it sounded so unique and exciting. It was so like, wow, what an idea. Like comics are already can be basically anything. The rules of comics isn't really like regulated the way, or not regulated, but like prose books, there's like so many ways, like this is how the book works, this is how grammar works. Comics can be anything. So I was like, that's so cool. It's gonna be on you, and a temporary tattoo, which I didn't even know you could order. Like it was just all so exciting. It's such a new idea for me. So I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think that I was already determined that I was going to do it, and stuff, but I hadn't done my Kickstarter yet. I was still kind of like, is this gonna work? Is this stupid? Is this okay? And what I really loved was how enthusiastic and supportive you were of the idea, and also Britland being sort of game to take those photos so that I could like really sort of and you drew on my arm with the pen. Um and that sort of like made me kind of feel like, okay, this is a real thing. This is like, I'd gotten some confirmation from Mads, who designed Maxi, and then this kind of like, sort of like pushed it forward a little bit for me and made it really real. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. That
I
makes me so
also
happy.
do love that, like, I'm really into hybrid comics, like the idea of like mixing opera and comic, or like what can a comic book be. And um and so it's really fun, and then like get to collaborate with like such amazing artists like yourself.
Yeah, it's very inspiring because like I feel like I'm now trying to think of how I can push my comics. Like you've inspired me as well, where I'm like, okay, so I can put comics on paper any day, but what else can I do with them? Like with the I've been working on visual novels with my brother, and that's sort of like a weird comics, but like it's not quite like a sequential, because it's like a thing is just happening that's like mildly animated, but I'm like, how can I push like a comic element of the visual novel? So it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it's like I really love like my World War I book, like, which I eventually, don't forget, you're going to draw one of those for me too.
Oh, I haven't, and I know what I'm gonna do. I
Yes.
just haven't done
Um,
it yet because
and that too is
life's
like kind of
crazy.
like hybrid, like how can I change, how can I change up what we can do with comics and prose and portraits and stuff like that. Okay, so your prompt was Maxie exits the craft, descends through the clouds to the planet below. What did you think of when you got that prompt? Like how did you feel about the prompt that you got, and what ideas did it put in your brain for this particular project?
Well, I definitely was thinking of doing it in a 3 panel format because I had like the way that I envisioned it, which was the way I drew it on your skin, like kind of up and down. And like, I mean, I guess, oh no, they're not all square. I was like, they can be square. They were going to be square. Like in my brain, I was like, yeah, I know it's, I didn't do any of the things I'm saying.
But I
But
love that. Like, I love that. I love the way that you did it because I love the way that it's like an Escher kind of thing. And it kind of shows you that sequences can be something very different than like, just panel, panel, panel.
Mhm. Yeah, which is really something I should push with my work because I often do like when I get like a more collaborative project, I think of how to push the way the comics play out. But when I do my own comics, I often just do like panel, square, and then like I'm like, this one's kind of rectangle. But anyway, once I started drawing it or really thinking sketching it, I was like, I feel like because Maxie is just like descending into these clouds, it doesn't even need like a border because it's kind he's kind of just like jumping through the clouds. And so I was like, he could be leaping on the clouds. And then I was like, but I really that I wanted to draw stairs that were like and I think I just started sketching that. I was like, that'll be the most fun to draw. So I'm gonna do that.
I mean, what I love about it too is that it's like it kind of pushes Maxie into this like, which is the great thing that comics does, into this like big, bigger world of what comics can do in with the imagination, because it's like in my mind, I was like, oh, Allison will draw a spaceship descending onto the planet. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
And then
yeah.
instead you did like stairs, and I was like, fuck yeah, you did. That's right. It's like even better. And that's what I love about comics. And that pushes me to remind me that, I can like do anything with comics. I just wrote a short for a thing and it's got smell in it. And so like I've like been like saying, in the script, like I'm saying to the artist, like, there, like, we need to have a smell there that's like a miasma that really shows us that this odor is everywhere. And it's like, I know that a comic book person can figure out how to like make the smell a character. And that's what's so cool about comics.
I feel like my brain is picturing the like toxic gas from Fern Gully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just something. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Um, Okay, so my last question for you is, where can we find you on the internet, and what do you have out right now? That is a new book that I know you have out. And can you talk about it?
Aw, thank you. Well, you can find me at my on Instagram is where I'm very active, but I'm also on Twitter, aka X, and just my website, and all of those things are Allistrations, which is spelled Allistrations. But also, if you look up Allison Conway with 2 L's, I'll be there. And then I do have a book that just came out literally like 4 days ago called The Pill Bug Story. And it's just about a bunch of bugs, and Millie the pill bug is the main character, and it's about them trying to just enjoy their lives in the bug world where things are constantly trying to kill you or make you uncomfortable, and they just want to like hang out and have tea and enjoy themselves. But life is crazy. And they do enjoy themselves.
I love it. It's so cute. And what publisher? It's published on what? Where can people find it?
It's published with Black Panel Press. But if you look up a pill book story, it should pop up from like Amazon and like Barnes and Noble, and that's fine too. No worries there. But if you find it at your local bookshop, of course,
Yes,
don't
and don't
shy
forget,
away from
everyone,
supporting it.
you can request it for your library. You can, if you feel it's too young for you, you can buy it for a kid's school, or there are plenty of ways to support amazing artists. Allison Conway, thank you so much for being a part of I Am the Comic Book. I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk about it and that you got to see it just a little bit. It's
There
like
it is.
marketing. It's
Thank
like 8 days old right now. This one,
wow.
it took, I'm still trying to figure out how much time I need between applications, you know.
Mhm. Do you reach a
So
point where you start scrubbing it off actively, or you're making sure you never do that and it just
I'm
fades?
making sure I never do that. And like, I am I'll take a bath and I'll just like leave it out of the water. I think this time it kind of, because I went into a hot tub, I think it kind of like, you know, sort of,
Right, even if you've
because it
got your
says
hand
like,
up to
yeah,
steam.
it says don't sweat, and it's like that's kind of a hard thing in summer during heat waves. But yeah, but I'm pretty, it'll be on for like another week. It fades and like I can still see the shadow of it sometimes, so it's kind of cool, but
That's very cool.
yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Allison, and you're the best, and thank you. I really appreciate you helping to make cool weird art.
And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been such a fun project to work on and contribute to. Yay!
I'm gonna stop it now. I don't know. Oh, no, that's stop video. How do I stop the actual recording? Oh, I found it.
Is there?
Oh, I found it.
Oh, okay.